We're back on the Cowboys report, and let's not sugarcoat it. This is more than just bad news for Dallas. It's a wake-up call that's come in the form of yet another record-breaking contract extension. This time, it's T.J. Watt and the Pittsburgh Steelers doing what winning organizations consistently do, taking care of their elite players before the market forces them to pay even more. Watt's new deal is staggering 3 years, $123 million total, with $108 million fully guaranteed at signing and a league-high $41 million per year average. That's the most money ever handed out to a non-quarterback in NFL history. And once again, we're sitting here watching another team beat the Cowboys to the punch while the price tag for Micah Parsons keeps climbing. It's the same story we've seen again and again, with this front office dragging their feet, negotiating in circles, and ultimately costing themselves millions. You'd think they would have learned from the Dak Prescott saga, or the DeMarcus Lawrence holdout, or even the Ezekiel Elliott situation. But no. History is repeating itself, and the bill is going up by the day. What's worse is the Cowboys know Micah is going to reset the market. There's no mystery, no gray area. Parsons is destined to become the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history, period. And yet, the Jones family keeps moving at a glacial pace. When Micah sat down in that private meeting with Jerry and Steven, it seemed like things were trending in the right direction. He even said, "Call my agent." And what did the Cowboys do? Nothing. Radio silence. That one missed call, or rather, that refusal to call, could now cost them millions. Because every new deal, whether it's Jamar Chase, Myles Garrett, or now T.J. Watt, keeps pushing the ceiling higher. If they had paid Micah before this latest wave, they could have gotten him in at $38 or $39 million per year. Now, you're probably looking at $42 million minimum. And guaranteed money? You can throw that projection out the window. Watt got over $100 million guaranteed on a 3-year deal. If Micah wants 4 or 5 years, that guarantee is going to blow past $125 million easily. And what makes it worse is that this was preventable. Entirely preventable. You look at the edge rusher market right now, and it's a war zone for cap space. T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, Danielle Hunter, Max Crosby, these guys have all gotten paid, and in doing so, they've created a new financial structure that teams like the Cowboys now have to live in. And let's be clear, these aren't surprises. This isn't like someone came out of nowhere and demanded $50 million. These are expected numbers for elite talent. Parsons is better than nearly every name on that list. He's younger, more versatile, and has proven his value on a defense that's carried Dallas through stretches of offensive inconsistency. So why the hesitation? Why the delay? This isn't about whether Micah deserves it. That's already been answered on the field. This is about poor planning, poor timing, poor urgency, and now they're cornered. With every passing contract around the league, the negotiating table shifts, and not in Dallas's favor. This isn't just frustrating, it's infuriating, because it shows a complete lack of learning from past mistakes. It shows that the Joneses are more reactive than proactive, and that's a dangerous place to be in today's NFL. Even worse, the Cowboys' reputation among players and agents takes a hit every time this happens. When you're known as the team that drags things out, that waits until the market dictates your every move instead of setting the market yourself, you lose leverage. And that's what happened here. They had a chance to get ahead of the curve, to reward their generational talent early, and to control the narrative. Instead, they've put themselves in a position where they'll have to outbid themselves just to keep Micah in the building. It's organizational malpractice. And while some fans might defend it, talking about smart business or cap management, the truth is this: smart business is paying the right players at the right time. Not when you're cornered, not when the price has already doubled. And now, the ripple effects are being felt across the locker room. Trayvon Diggs, coming off injury, just had $500,000 cut from his salary because he didn't meet workout thresholds during rehab. That's within the contract, sure, but it sends a message. A message that, even when they can make things right, the Cowboys will find a way to do the opposite. Micah has said he wanted to be paid last year. Then he said he was fine waiting so Lamb and Doc could get theirs first. But maybe he meant he was fine waiting until this offseason, and that he expected a fair deal when his time came. And now that time is here, and the landscape has changed dramatically. Watt's $41 million per year is now the floor, not the ceiling. If you had offered Micah $39 million last month, he might have signed it. Now, $42 million might not even get it done. And with players like Aiden Hutchinson and others waiting in the wings for new contracts, you're running out of time again. We projected Micah's contract months ago, maybe $162 million over 4 or 5 years, with guarantees in the $120 million range. That was already expensive. Now it's more. Maybe $170 million total. Maybe $130 million guaranteed. And all because the Joneses let the moment slip again. And here's the sad reality: they'll still pay him. Of course, they will. But the cost of doing business late is that you always pay more. That's not smart cap management. That's not negotiating savvy. That's just ego and inertia. And now the Cowboys have less cash, less cap flexibility, and more noise heading into a season where they need to be focused on football. So, yeah, if you're frustrated, if you're tired of watching this team repeat the same contract blunders year after year, you're not alone. Let it out in the comments. Let me know if you're mad. Because until this front office starts operating with urgency, until they start valuing efficiency over stubbornness, we're going to keep seeing this movie play out over and over again. And the worst part is, this isn't even new. This is the Cowboys' identity, now delaying until they no longer have leverage, hesitating until the market skyrockets, and then pretending they didn't see it coming. Micah Parsons should have been the player they paid before the price surged. They've seen this play out with Dak Prescott, with DeMarcus Lawrence, with Ezekiel Elliott. It always ends the same. Dallas pays more because they wait longer. The Cowboys had a clear runway to lock in Micah at $38 or $39 million per year, and instead they stood still again. Meanwhile, the rest of the league keeps evolving. The Steelers, the Texans, the 49ers, they identify their franchise guys and they act. They don't hide behind Jones family negotiations. They don't leak vague optimism to the press. They just get it done. And now, the number for Micah might push $43 million annually. Not because of anything Micah did wrong, but because of everything the Cowboys failed to do. And if you think this doesn't send shockwaves through the locker room, think again. Players notice. They talk. They watch the business unfold, and they remember who got taken care of on time and who didn't. How do you convince a generational talent like Micah to lead your franchise long-term when you've already shown him that your word and your timing can't be trusted? You think this kind of front office friction doesn't impact on field chemistry? Think again. Micah is still going to dominate, but the longer this contract saga lingers, the more it becomes a distraction for the player, for the locker room, for the franchise. And heaven forbid another edge rusher like Aiden Hutchinson resets the market again before Dallas wakes up. Because if that happens, The Cowboys aren't just late, they're downright negligent.